On tap, Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. Happy St. Patrick's Day. This is our second annual St. Patty's Day episode where we paint the graphics green. Whoosh. And drink like leprechauns. I'm Seamus Knott, and today we are toasting with Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, which is brewed by Guinness and Company at the St. James Gate Brewery in Dublin. Guinness was established in 1759 by Arthur Guinness. Foreign Extra Stout was originally brewed in 1801 with more alcohol and hops, which are both preservatives, for export to other countries. It was originally released in the US under the name West India Porter, but discontinued during Prohibition. In October of 2010, it was re-released in the US. These days, Foreign Extra Stout is Guinness's most highly hopped offering. At 7.5% ABV, it is one of their most potent beers too. It differs from Guinness Irish Stout in the fact that the head comes from carbonation rather than from the nitrogenation of, for example, the nitrogen widget. Pour it at a 45-degree angle and serve it chilled. For all you glassware snobs, the brewery says that drinking it out of the bottle is perfectly acceptable. Chef, how would you describe the flavor of this beer?
Well, Jameis, I think it's got a bittersweet cherry cordial kind of finish to it, but at the beginning, it's just a very smooth, hoppy stout. I mean, there's definitely has remembrance of a regular Guinness, but there's definitely a lot more flavor going along with it. I think it's a little bit more sophisticated.
Joby, how do you think this compares to regular Guinness?
James, this is definitely different from the regular Guinness. The regular Guinness is very smooth. It's got a really creamy mouthfeel, but this one I feel has a little less of that creamy mouthfeel, and it's got a finish, like Chef was saying, that isn't there in the regular Guinness. It's almost like he was saying, like the cherry mouthfeel. I compare it to like almost chocolate covered cherry, if you will. But in many ways, again, it is the same. It's got the same look. The head is still there, but I feel like it's got more flavor characteristic. There's a lot more going on with this beer than the regular Guinness.
Chris, is Guinness Foreign Extra Stout a blue-collar beer?
James, I would not agree with that comment. This is more for an upscale, more advanced palate. It's a good beer, don't get me wrong, but this is not your everyday man's Guinness. I wouldn't be making a car bomb out of this Guinness.
No? What about a black and tan?
We could give that a try.
Yeah, okay. Adam, this is the hoppiest Guinness. When you describe it to other people, though, would you describe it as a hoppy beer?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, I would say that this is a hophead stout. You know, there's some hop to it. There's some definite hop flavor. There's some added hops into the actual making of the beer that give it that extra flavor profile that you're looking for. I think with the regular Guinness, it's very smooth, very drinkable beer, but it can tend to be a little bit watery. This one sticks with you a little bit longer. The flavor lingers in your mouth a little bit longer.
Okay, and Joby, is this a session beer for you?
With the high ABV, I don't think so.
Okay, Chris, what's your go-to beer for St. Patrick's Day?
Green beer, of course, for St. Patrick's Day, but with the dark colors of this beer, you're not going to get a very good green. I agree with them. A couple of these for a good night of drinking, but nothing long-term.
Chef, what is your rating?
I give this a 10. This is top of my list. I mean, this is a great beer. I kind of disagree. It's not something that I'm going to think about when I'm going out at night, but this could be when I come home from work, my daily beer.
Okay, a 10. That's pretty good. Joby, what about you?
I'm at an 8, James. I definitely like this beer. It's a great tasting beer. It's a little more complex than the regular Guinness, which I like. But again, it's not the regular Guinness, which I love. So,
okay.
Joby, based on your knowledge of regular Guinness, you obviously like regular Guinness. I like regular Guinness. What would you rate your regular Guinness then?
Regular Guinness to me would probably be a 9 or a 10.
Okay.
So again, this was, it's a little, it's kind of a step below that, just because it's one of those things that you know and love.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to mess with a masterpiece in my mind. So
for me, this beer actually it surprised me. I've not having this beer before. It surprised me that it really took Guinness, which is, again, that's going to be a 9 or 10 for me as well. and it took it to the next level. I think this is the perfect, well-rounded beer.
Yeah, and I think my lack of experience with beers kind of reverses the way I see these two beers, because I can see big beer lovers thinking this is leaps and bounds better than the regular Guinness because it's probably more complex, the flavors that it has in it. But for me, you know,
grew up with Guinness.
Grew up with Guinness. That's what I know and love. So again, this is a great beer, James. I rated an 8, but you know, it's just not to my Guinness level yet.
Okay. Now this was recently re-released October 1st, 2010. Do you think this should be a permanent fixture on the American beer scene?
It could be. Let's see how it takes. It's a good beer. It's going to get people who like it and people who don't like it because they like the original Guinness. Like them, I rated it an 8. It's a good beer. It's just not what I grew up with. It may take some getting used to.
Okay.
I can tell you, I would be very upset if this came off the market. Because I think that, I fell in love with it instant.
Are they saying that this is only a seasonal offering, or have they said that they're not going to start brewing it full time?
It's new to the market, and you know, something that's new may or may not sell well.
I'd say Guinness and Company, keep it on the shelves.
Okay. Guinness Foreign Extra Stout gets 8.7 shamrocks on the special St. Patrick's Day episode. Which Guinness is your favorite? Do you prefer it on draft, out of a can, or bottle? Let us know in the comments section. I'm Seamus Knott. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Better Beer Authority. Better Beer Authority.